What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa. I'm a Sierra Leonean American now living in West Africa, specifically in Freetown, Sierra Leone at the moment. And if you want to know a detailed explanation of what is going on with the fees at the Freetown International Airport, then this is the video for you. All right. We are live. We're live. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I want to hear from you if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from and if you can hear me. We're going to get to you guys in a second. There's been some technical difficulties and we're working them out and troubleshooting them in real time because this is how things go. So we're going to go live everywhere, literally everywhere. Right now we're live on Facebook and YouTube. We're about to go live on Instagram. I need to remove Instagram and add Instagram. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. So we're going to have to go live separately on Instagram. Okay. All right. This is what we'll do. We'll go live separately on Instagram. This is how we'll do it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to have to go live on Instagram from my phone. But in the meantime, let me know if you guys are where you guys are watching from and if you can hear me. Okay, so Anne-Marie Harding says you can hear me. Cool. I'm about to go live on Instagram on my phone. We're having some technical difficulties here. So as usual, I have to troubleshoot in real time. But this is how it goes. This is how it goes sometimes, guys. So we're gonna go live here on this device. So we're live on Instagram in 3, 2, 1. So we're live on Instagram now. We're live on IG. We're live on TikTok. We're live on a couple of YouTube channels. And we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and we're live on Twitch. So here we are. All right. So now, if you're watching on Instagram, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Shout out to MDD who just joined. Let's see. So where you guys watching from? Can you hear me and where you watching from? Shout out to Arnacia who just joined. Where you guys watching from? And if you could give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. So let's see. Original Marisa, keep up the great job. Thank you. I appreciate it. Will do. All right. So I got a bunch of thumbs up so you guys can hear me. But I want to know where you guys are watching from. We got 79 people on from Instagram right now. Where are you guys watching from? So we got ATL in the building. Original Maurice is from ATL. Where is everybody else watching from? All right. Pam Lee is watching from Memphis. Arnacia is from Salone, of course. Shirley Hodgson says the UK. Nice. Lowry says Yaga, watching from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Wow. All right, Vietnam. I think that's a first. First from Vietnam. Tim Black is watching from Jonesburg, Georgia. We got Mr. Big Manny watching from Baton Rouge. Sir Huzi is watching from Nigeria. Nice. We got Obina watching from London. I don't know how to pronounce this. What is it? Lemur and Entertainments. Wait. Lemur. Okay. Lemurt Animation Studio. Los Angeles is where you're watching from. Nice. Lucy International is watching from London. We got 1156 watching from Miami. We got Tanzania in the house. I was just in Tanzania a couple months ago. Ruben is watching from Brazil. Ronnie from India. Hanan from Spain. Ricky from San Diego. Tori's from Ohio. Wolfolk. Jana is from Cali. What's the subject? The subject today is a very specific country, Sierra Leone, and the airport fees. Those of you who are visiting West Africa, and especially those of you who trace your lineage back to Sierra Leone, if you've done your African ancestry and you're planning to get your citizenship, this is one of the things that's going to be really important for you to understand the fees and when they will go into place and where you'll be paying these fees. There was a leaked memo about a week ago now that was supposed to be an internal memo, but it was leaked to the public, and the government responded to it. And so we're going to clarify all of that stuff today on the live. So that's what the conversation is about today. So for those of you who are planning to come to West Africa, specifically Sierra Leone, this is what the topic of the conversation is going to be. So I see Udemy from Wales. Roderick gave a thumbs down, I guess, for the new prices. Gerald says Connecticut. Okay, we got Connecticut, Miami. Oh my goodness, this guy. Powinagram says Epstein Island. That's wild. That is wild for you to say that. That is wild. Surprise, Havok says Liverpool. Mr. P is in South Africa. Nice. We got Zimbabwe in the house. Abuja in the house. Zambia. My sitting room. Shirley says my sitting room. Sure. Where is your sitting room? Okay. Kika Moonlight, of course, is watching from Delta State. I know where you are. Pamela Lee said, I bought land in Ghana. I'm excited. Nice, nice. What convinced you to buy land in Ghana? Let me know. Was it watching my lives? And where did you buy land? What area of Ghana did you buy land? Obviously, Kika Moonlight says Nigeria, of course. All right. So we got a full house today. We got a group. So let's get this thing started. But Shirley did say her sitting room in the UK is where she's watching from. Nice. Okay, cool. So again, today we're talking about a specific country, which comes up a lot in these conversations, especially because for those of you who don't know, Sierra Leone is the only country that in Africa that offers citizenship through DNA ancestry. Specifically, the only company they recognize is African Ancestry at the moment. And there are 6 tour companies that you can get your trip. You can pay for your trip through Sierra Leone to get here. To get your trip to Sierra Leone to get your citizenship. The 6 countries that they recognize. And so many of the people who follow this platform are people who are coming to get their citizenship, which has a lot of benefits, right? One of which is you have an ECOWAS passport, Economic Community of West African States, which means it allows you to be able to travel around the different member states of ECOWAS. A couple have been, it looks like, have been excluded as of recent because of the coups that they've encountered. But most of West Africa, you can travel to with this passport. Passport lasts 5 years. And so you have to renew it every 5 years, but it allows you to move around West Africa. For those of you who want to go to Ghana for Dirty December or Nigeria for Dirty December, if you go through this process and get your citizenship, you no longer have to pay for a visa to go to Ghana or Nigeria. You can use your Sierra Leone passport to enter those countries. And you can also stay for longer for less beyond the allotted period because you are ECOWAS passport holder. So these are all things that I'd like to mention. Now, before we get into today's content, because it is about Sierra Leone, because for those of you who are planning to come to West Africa, a lot of you are coming through the citizenship process to be able to make your life around West Africa easier, right? Or if you want to just come back to a country in which, you know, some of your ancestry originated, and you want to visit this country, then these are some of the things you need to know. But before we get into all of that, it's important for you guys to know who is talking to you, right? I mean, many of you, especially those who are on Instagram, you guys probably are following a page where you don't see a lot of me on the page. My goal is to try to bridge the gap between the diaspora and the continent of Africa. And so that is what the platform is all about. But at the same time, I am doing more to share my own personal experience moving to the continent and some of the other things that I'm experiencing while moving around the continent of Africa. I've now been to Tanzania, Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia. And as I travel, I'm going to share those experiences with you guys so you know what it's like to make those to make that move. So I'm going to go through a presentation really quickly. For those of you who are watching on Instagram or TikTok and you want to see the presentation that I will be putting on the screen, you're going to want to go to the link in my profile. There is the very top link in the profile says, join me live right now on YouTube. So you can click on that and that'll take you directly to the YouTube live so that you can watch this. It should be there actually. Hold on. It looks like my, it's out of order. But anyway, you'll see it there. You'll definitely be able to see it there. So just go to the page and you'll see it. I just updated the link right now as I was telling you where to find the link. So if you want to come and see what the presentation looks like, you know, so you can see what's on the screen and you can join in the conversation there. It's a lot easier for me to communicate with folks who are commenting on YouTube than it is on TikTok or Instagram, because these are on 2 different mobile devices. And sometimes it gets a little difficult to be able to go like scroll through these comments. There are a couple of people making comments. I see some stuff about Palestine in here. That's a conversation for another time. We're not going to talk too much about Palestine today, but the war that's happening there, I think, is top of mind for many people, and it's definitely a conversation for another time. More than happy to have that discussion later, but not today. Today we're talking specifically about another country on the continent of Africa, because that's what people came here for. Okay, all right. So the Join Me Live on YouTube really is looking like it's having a hard time here showing up. So let me just make a quick adjustment to make sure it's actually there. For some reason, it looks like it doesn't want to show up here. So maybe I'll just do it again. Sorry, guys. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you got to troubleshoot in real time sometimes. That's just how it goes. I don't know why this is, for some reason, it's having a little bit of an issue, but it is. So I'm just putting the link in here, and you guys will be able to see it shortly. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Cool. It should be there now. Join me live on YouTube. Internet connectivity issues. So that's one of the things people ask me a lot about, like, you know, how's the internet there? And depending on the brand that you're using, it can be challenging from time to time, and specifically right now. So, okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about who I am, where I'm from. We got Dr. Radwan from Libya. Wow. I think one of the few people who joined from Libya. All right, cool. So again, for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see me share my screen here in just a second. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. One of the things Tim Black said about, I was disappointed to find out Ghana has only leasehold land, not freehold land. The land is land freehold in Sierra Leone. So yeah, so that's one of the differences between buying land in Ghana and Sierra Leone. In Ghana, it is leasehold land, but it's 50 years. Generally, it's about 50 years to lease the land. They do not allow people to own the actual land. They lease the land from the government. In Sierra Leone, it is freehold land. So you buy the land, you own it. In general, there's always exceptions to the rule in both places, but yes, Jerry Campbell is touching in from Barbados. What up, Jerry? What's up, Jerry? How you doing? Long time no see, literally a week. All right, cool. So we got Kika Moonlight joining from 2 different devices. You're on Instagram, now you're on TikTok. I like it, I like it. We got 334 people out here watching from Instagram too, 349. All right, I mean from on TikTok, 364 on TikTok. Nice. So the number on TikTok is growing. IG, what do we got? Depleted drastically. But anyway, all right. So let's get into today's content. It has been a long day, guys. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me. Let me share my screen. And once I start sharing, you guys are gonna have to let me know if you guys can see it. But I think we're gonna be good to go. All right. So for those of you watching on YouTube, can you see my screen? Looks like you can, because I can see it. All right. So generally, so first of all, like, comment, subscribe. If you got any questions, put them into the comments for sure. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. If you're watching on TikTok, hit the heart button. I think it is, right? The heart button you're supposed to hit. I don't know. I don't know TikTok like that. But just like show that you like the content, right? All right, so the services are as follows. So I have a lot of services that I offer to people who are planning to move to the continent of Africa, or at least want to visit, specifically Ghana and Sierra Leone. I lived 2 years in Ghana. I spent the last 7 years coming to Sierra Leone pretty frequently, and now I live full-time in Sierra Leone. So I'd like to think that I can give a lot of insight to anyone planning to make that adjustment and move from the West. So I have some consulting that I do. And so in terms of visiting Ghana, I can help you with all of these things. Moving to Ghana, I can help you with all of that. And consulting services, moving or visiting Sierra Leone, here are all the things I can help with as well. So that's all real estate, lifestyle stuff, all the things you want to know. I have not only contacts, but context. And I can help you make decisions when the time comes. Here's some testimonials. This one's from Anita Howard, not to be confused with Adina Howard, of course. So this one's from Benoit. We have one from Saba, who actually ended up meeting with someone who I introduced her to, and she's in the process of buying land as we speak. That's what this says. And then, of course, Aisha Ladan also definitely gave a great shout out here, as you can see too. So yes, we have a few testimonials from folks. I have more that I'll share soon, but you know, people are finding these consulting sessions useful. So if you need help making that decision, definitely reach out to me by clicking on a link in the description and on YouTube, or if you're watching on Instagram or TikTok, there is a link in the profile there. Once you click on that, you'll be able to scroll down to book a one-on-one private consultation. I also have influencer services. So if you're a brand and you are looking to have someone cover your events on the continent of Africa, or if it's African diaspora related, or if you want someone to be there in person to basically give a firsthand experience of the event. I've done it now in Gambia and Tanzania, and we're looking to do more in 2024. I also do social media consulting. So as you can see, the following has grown quite substantially. We're over 330,000 across all platforms. And so with this size following, I can help you build your following, whatever it is, whatever brand you have. I could consult with you and really help you to build your brand online. And so if you want to work with me, you can book a consulting call. And also, if you want to put your brand in front of my audience, right? The 330,000 people across all platforms, or the 226,000 just on Instagram, you can do so. Not only do we have that many people, we also have quality folks who follow the page. One particular person is Taraji B. Henson, who's been in the news lately. And she also is not only a follower, but she, from time to time, engages with content on the platform. So if you want to be in front of folks like her, then reach out to me. And here's some of the different offerings that I offer. I am going to have a link to a questionnaire that you can fill out. I'm actually working on it as we speak. So right now you can just email me at authenticafricanlife@gmail.com, and I can help you from there. But eventually I'll have a link that you guys can click on, so you'll be able to fill out a form and be able to work with me on Instagram, posting your stuff on Instagram. All right. So now let's get into today's content. So today's content is as follows. So many of you might know, who've traveled to West Africa recently, specifically traveled to Sierra Leone. There's always been questions about the cost of the ticket, right? And what is incurred in that cost. And one of the things that I had done maybe about a year and a half ago is I had compared pricing flying from Sierra Leone to somewhere to Nigeria and Ghana to Nigeria. And I had looked at the pricing, and I know Ghana is like halfway between Sierra Leone and Nigeria, but I also looked at pricing from Senegal. And I saw that Sierra Leone was a little bit more cost prohibitive. And I was trying to figure out what was the reason for that. When you book your ticket and you look at the itemized fees, it'll tell you the cost of the ticket, there's some taxes, and then there are other like fees that are kind of bundled in one. So today what we're going to talk about is a leaked memo that described what some of those fees are if they're going to be moving forward. So in some cases, there weren't any previous fees, and now they're going to be new fees. In other cases, there was a fee, and now that fee may have increased in price. So we're going to go through this leaked memo, and then we're going to go through the government's response so that you guys are aware of this. So like, I don't know if any of you guys have my number and you see on WhatsApp, I posted this on my status. I also posted this on Instagram as well. And so there were a lot of questions about these fees and when are you going to pay them? How do you have to pay them, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to walk you through it now. So first of all, let's talk about the leaked memo. Sorry, my social media manager is messaging me. Let me just see what this is about. Okay, cool. Nice. Sorry, multitasking. You guys know I launched a social media agency. By the way, I have a social media agency. If you're a brand and you want to build your brand online through social media, my team can run your social media pages for you. Just hired a brand new social media manager from Nigeria. She's awesome. Really, really good. So I'm looking forward to assigning her new clients as they come along. She seems to have the bandwidth to be able to do it, and she's really, 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 really good. So I'm excited to have her on board. And she's very communicative. She's texting me right now. Anyway, all right. So the new fees that were revealed. So as you can see, this is an internal memo. I don't think this was meant for public consumption, just because it says, "Dear Madam," right? So this is from the Chairperson Board of Airline Representatives, the BAR. And you can see there's like a reference number here. It's from the Ministry of Transportation and Aviation in the UE building. And so this is to inform the government of Sierra Leone has recent agreement with FIA Ltd, previously Suma Airport, in the implementation of a build, operate, transfer regarding the Freetown International Airport. Consequently, following airport charges are revised and or should be effective on the 1st of March, 2024, and for the following table. So this, I don't think this was meant for public consumption, because it would have been said, first of all, if it was for public consumption, generally the Ministry of Information and Civic Engagement tends to put out, these kinds of press releases. So I'm pretty sure this was meant to be an internal memo. Now, this was passed around widely, and there was a lot of speculation prior to this that the fees at the airport were going to be going up, and people didn't know what they were. So let's talk about what the fees are currently. Just the general fees after you bought your ticket and you're traveling to Sierra Leone. So when you travel to Sierra Leone, right, there is a service fee. So today's topic, Troy's asking, what's the topic today? So the topic is about some new fees in Sierra Leone Freetown International Airport. So when you travel here, there's one major fee you have to pay, and that's your security fee. That's a $35 security fee. You pay it to enter the country. You pay it to leave the country. Other countries do have security fees. The Gambia has a security fee as well. So it's not specific to Sierra Leone. There are countries that have these kinds of fees, right? Separately from that, if Sierra Leone's airport is on a peninsula, many of you know this because many of you guys have traveled here. So you have to take a boat across from the airport to the mainland and to the capital city. Some people do it with the ferry, the government-sponsored ferry. Those tickets are about $2, even for VIP, maybe like $3, something like that, the equivalent to that. But if you want to go on a smaller boat, a little bit faster, they have more frequent boats that are leaving. You have a couple of private companies. You have Aberdeen Water Taxi, owned by a Sierra Leonean. You have Sea Coach, owned by a Nigerian. And you have Sea Bird, which I think is Chinese because there's some Chinese symbols that I've seen. And so you have those three major companies, all of which charge $45 each way. So just to enter and to leave the country, if you want to one of those three private companies and you paying your security fee, that is 45 plus 35 is 80. 45 plus 35 is 80. So you're paying an $80 fee, security fee is 25. So 45 plus 25 is 70. So you're paying $70 each way. That's $140 each way to enter and to leave the country, right? And so those are just the fees, the standard fees that you are coming out of pocket once you land. Let's talk about the fees that are going to be a part of the ticket. And so we'll talk about that. So that was one of the pieces of speculation and some of the questions that people had. When they were looking at these fees, which ends up being $259, when you look at all these fees all together. So there's a passenger service charge that used to be $25, now it's $35. There's the airport development charge, was $5. The new charges start at for $100 for 2024, and then it goes up $1 per year in concession period of 33 years. So for the next 33 years, it'll be up to $133 for a new charge for the airport development charge. Then you have the airport safety fee. That was $0. Now it's going to be $65. And then you have the air navigation charge, which was $0, which is now $20. So in terms of the total charges, they will be $259, because one of the other things that it says on the next slide at the very top, which I don't have it there, but it says the aviation security charge, which is $39 USD per each international departing passenger, remains the same and to be collected by FIA. So I think that fee will also be part of the ticket that you're paying for. So these are all fees that are going to be a part of your ticket. So your ticket is going to be whatever the ticket is plus likely $259. So when you go to checkout, right, when you're purchasing your ticket and you're looking at the ticket fees, right, and it'll say the ticket, taxes, and fees. It likely will say $259 in terms of fees as a line item there. Then you'll have your taxes as another line item, and then you'll just have the ticket fee. I don't know how often people look at that stuff. That's all, I always look at those things. And so this is for Sierra Leone. So Lori Hayden is asking, where is this for? This is for Sierra Leone. And the reason why we're talking about this in particular is because Sierra Leone is the only country on the continent of Africa that offers citizenship to people who have, who can prove their DNA lineage traces back to one of the tribes in Sierra Leone through African ancestry. And so because we're the only ones who offer that, many people are getting their citizenship, a couple hundred in the last couple of years, who've learned about this, have gotten their citizenship and are coming to Sierra Leone frequently or traveling to other parts of West Africa because now you have an ECOWAS passport. So Troy then says, helping budget price a trip. Yeah, so this helps you. This is going to help you budget. I mean, at the end of the day, when you book your ticket, this will already be included in your ticket charges. So once you start looking at tickets, you'll see the fees. It'll be a part of the ticket. So that's not going to be out-of-pocket expense. The main out-of-pocket expense is going to be your $25 security fee. As it stands today, it's $25. And then if you're going to take one of the private companies, Seabird, Seacoach, Aberdeen Water Taxi, that's $45 today. That can go up. You know, they were previously $40 for those private companies. There was no security fee previously. So some of these things are subject to change. At the date of this recording, that is the case as it stands currently. There are also going to be additional fees for people who are bringing in cargo. So for those of you who are in the import-export business or looking to get into the import-export business, these are some of the fees that you can expect to see. So, you know, at the bottom here, you'll see, you know, for up to 8 tons, it was $23, I think, per ton. Now it's 28. Everything has just gone up, right? So you can see all of the amounts that have gone up here. Now, those things are all true and important to know, but the government did respond, and okay, so there's a couple questions and thoughts that came up before we move on to this next slide. Let's address some of the questions and comments from those who are watching. Okay, just Wilfred said like the video. Tim Black says you could see it. The Black Kika. This is my YouTube traveling channel. I'm traveling to Ghana in March. Nigeria has freehold land. You can pass it unto your second generation. There you go. So that's what Kika's saying. So Kika has been sharing. Nice. Shout out to you, Kika. Jerry Campbell is saying, I'm good, Joe. Good to catch you on. Thanks for joining, of course, as always. All right, so let's get back to the presentation. I just want to make sure I caught up with those questions and comments. Let me see if there are any other questions and comments that I've missed so far on Instagram, because a lot of you guys keep jumping in and out of here with questions. What kind of DNA that will allow you citizenship? So you have to do African ancestry. That's the only one that the Sierra Leone government recognizes, is African ancestry. I don't know if it has to be maternal or paternal. Maybe Arnacia, if you're still watching, you can give me your thoughts on that. But you just have to do your African ancestry through, you have to do your DNA test through African ancestry. You can do them across all of them if you want to. They all have their own benefits. There are also all kinds of conspiracy theories about people who go through that and what they do with your DNA, whatever. But the only one that's recognized is African ancestry. So even if you do ancestry.com, might be good for you. Trace your lineage, meet people that are family members, whatever, learn family secrets. That happens a lot. There's also people who do like color or 23andMe. They all have different ways of deriving your DNA. The only one that's recognized is African ancestry, which gives you your tribes that you're connected to, right? So you want to check African ancestry because that one tells you what tribes you're connected to, and that one in particular is the one that gives you potential citizenship in Sierra Leone if you go through the process. So this is Kika Moonlight, who is sharing her YouTube channel. You're watching from everywhere. She went from Instagram, TikTok, now on YouTube. Shout out to Kika. And I appreciate your engagement from the Delta region in Niger. Tim Black says hit that like button. Here's a good question. In Finnegan, is it in Finnegan? He said, who owns or financed the new airport? So it was built by a Turkish company. That's a great question. Who financed it? I presume they financed it, and the fees are being passed on to the consumer, as you might have noticed in some of the different fees that'll be collected. So I'm sure it was done, on a loan basis. You know, it wasn't like paid for outright. I doubt it was. I think it was probably some kind of loan situation. Like, you know, at least with the option to buy kind of thing. That's Wilfred said, maternal and paternal tests for African ancestry are accepted. There you go. So pick a side, any side, and once you do it, you, if you have a connection to any of the tribes in Sierra Leone, you can get your citizenship here, and that makes the life a whole lot easier if you want to go to Ghana or Nigeria. Spoken from someone who has traveled to both countries. The Gambia has an open policy to anybody who has citizenship around the continent of Africa, but it also benefits you to go there because you have your Sierra Leone citizenship, so you can go to the Gambia as well. So in terms of West Africa, I've been to the Gambia, Ghana, and Nigeria so far, all of which I've only done since getting my Sierra Leone citizenship. I had never traveled to anywhere outside of Sierra Leone on the continent of Africa until after I got my Sierra Leone citizenship. All right, now let's move on to the government's response to that potentially leaked memo. So now this was something that came from the Ministry of Information and Civic Engagement. As I mentioned before, in general, they're the ones who pass out information to all of the above. Now, contrary to misinformation, let's start at the bottom. Contrary to misinformation, passenger fees, it says all these fees here. Passenger payment, all aviation airport charges are embedded in passenger tickets. Passengers are not expected to pay these separately at the airport. The secure point charge remains $25 and the only charge collected at the airport. So remember, I said this is not a fee that you'll pay at the airport, it will be in your ticket. So now, what this was an amendment to an original contract. So they made sure it was clear that you could see the new airport development fee was set at $150. It was revised to $101 increase every year. Increase in fees to have come into effect in December 2023. They'll actually come in March 2024. Revenue sharing with the government, 30% before, so now 40%. Redundancy benefits from former airport staff. SUMA will pay redundancy benefits to all staff of the Sierra Leone. So I guess the original airport, those who were probably laid off. Redundancy usually means you're going to be laid off. That happens a lot when one company acquires another company. They say these roles are redundant. So that usually means that there are layoffs. And so if there's a redundancy benefit for former airport staff, they were supposed to be covered by the government previously. Now SUMA will pay those redundancy benefits, and that the amount is calculated to 7.5 million USD to be paid to all those folks that were laid off when the new airport was built and they were no longer employed by the airport. The government had to pay $20 million for the second and third phase of the airport development. Now this company SUMA will cover those costs. The government was to pay compensation for all overlapping contracts. SUMA will take over that. SUMA could apply for non-aeronautical fees without clearance. Now the government can object to any such fees such increases within 7 days. Okay, so this was a contract with a company called SUMA, and this was updates to that contract. So again, we as consumers will pay any of the fees that are discussed. We will pay them in our ticket purchasing process. We will not be paying that in person when we arrive. You still do have to pay $55 security fee when you arrive and when you leave, right? So make sure you have $50 at least to cover coming in and leaving. And then also, depending on how you want to get across the water, you can decide if you want to do it through the government, which is fairly cheap. I think it's 30 leones and 70 leones, something like that, 60 leones. So it's less than $5 either way, to go across with the government ferry. Or if you want to take one of the private organization, it's $45. So it's $70 each way if you go with one of the private companies and you pay a security fee. But that is the fee situation. So there was a lot of questions. Now I can just direct people to this video for future reference. You don't have to ask me anymore. It's all here. That is it for that portion of the presentation and the discussion. Kika Moonlight says, Joe, I need a job when I get to Ghana. Well, Kika, there, depending on your background, message, email me. You see my email here on the screen. We can talk. Depending on your background, I may be able to point you in the right direction. As many of you know, when I moved to Ghana, I got a job within, well, I had a job once I already moved to Ghana. But from moving to the continent, I was working within 3 months of moving to the continent as the head of advertising for Jumia Ghana. Jumia is what they call the Amazon of Africa. It's publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. It's a e-commerce company, food delivery as well. They did groceries at one point. They did travel at another point. But I think mostly right now it's just food delivery and e-commerce. So yeah, I have a connection or two, or at least I could point you in the right direction where to look. I know Kika, you've been talking a lot about Ghana, so it looks like you're actually going to make the move, which makes sense considering your the statements you've made previously. So Zine NYC says, why Ghana? Let's focus on Sierra Leone, please. Now, Kika Moonlight is Nigerian, so that's why she's going to Ghana. I think a lot of Nigerians go to Ghana as a move for education and or employment. Okay, you have a diploma in catering and hotel management. Okay. Well, anyway, email me, Kika. Kika, email me and we'll see. Maybe there's some people I can put you in touch with. I lost my connection on TikTok. Can you guys all still hear and see me on Instagram? Okay. Linda, looks like Linda wants to go live. You know what? Let's go live with somebody today. We're gonna go live with Linda. Let's see, Linda, do you want to go live? What does Linda want to talk about? Let's go live with Linda. We're gonna go live with her on Instagram Live. It's kind of meta because we're gonna go live on Instagram. So you guys on YouTube won't be able to watch, but you'll be able to hear her if she actually joins. She said she wanted to go live. Linda, are you there? Okay, does anybody else want to go live and chit chat, as they say? If not, we can bring this thing to a close. We don't have to always go for an hour. Okay, King Malco wants to go live. Let's see. We weren't able to get Lacey. We weren't able to get Linda, so let's get King. King, let's see if we can get King on here. No? Why isn't it working? Okay, King changed his mind. Linda, are you ready? Let's try to get Linda on. And then if anybody else wants to go live, let me know. Just put your hand up or make the request to go live and we can do that. Anybody. No? Okay, Linda has sent another request. We got Greg from North Carolina. What's up, Greg? All right, guys. So look, we've covered everything we needed to cover today. I got a little bit of a trip ahead of me to get back home. So if there are no more questions, we might just draw this thing to a close. I think this might be it for today, guys. It looks like those of you who wanted to go live changed your mind last minute. Of course, it looks like a bunch of people are joining on YouTube now. For those of you who are joining on YouTube, just go back and watch the live from the beginning. You'll get everything you need about these airport fees. You'll get all the answers to your questions, I'm sure. And if not, you can always comment on the replay. More than happy to give you my answers to those questions in the replay. All right, so it says Linda wants to go live again, but it hasn't been working. So I don't know what's going on. I'm accepting it, Linda. No, not working. The universe is just conspiring against allowing us to go live at the same time. All right, guys. So with that, of course, as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and hit all if you're watching on YouTube so you're notified every time a new video comes out. Share this with anybody you know who's done their African ancestry. My live video just automatically ended on Instagram out of nowhere. Shout out to Instagram just deciding to end my live. But for those of you who are still watching on YouTube and all the other platforms, if you would like, just hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell, notify every time a new video comes out. And yeah, we'll see you guys all on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.